11 clubs around Major League Baseball on Father's Day had opportunities for series sweeps. 9 actually brought out the brooms. The Red Sox completed a series sweep over the Yankees at home at Fenway. Rafael Devers hit his final home run in a Red Sox uniform on Sunday, as later in the night we find out Devers is on his way to San Francisco. MLB Game Night. Every game, every night is underway.
When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
And we welcome you into our latest MLB Game Night, part of the Locked On Podcast Sports Network. He is John Frisch, along with his brother Mike. They host Locked On Angels for Locked On, #1 Los Angeles Angels podcast out there in the universe. You can follow John on the X at Super Halo Bros. I always get that one. Always trips me up. I'm Steve Lenox, host of the Locked On Red Sox postcast. You can follow me on the X at Lenox on Baseball. John, we've got a lot to do. Father's Day wrapping up. Happy Father's Day to you.
Yes, same to you, my friend. That's right.
Yes. A little bit different with two teenagers who, just go on with your day. It's another Sunday. We got a lot to get to. The Mets swept at home. The Phillies actually take advantage. We're going to start with the final game from Sunday on Father's Day Sunday. Giants-Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. First series of the season between the two clubs. A lot going on, not only with this series, a lot going on with the Giants, but the Dodgers able to take the final game of the 3-game series. And with that, we have Vince from Locked On Dodgers with the details as the Dodgers do take the rubber game.
The Giants had the biggest news of the day, but the Dodgers had the win on the day. This is Vince from Locked On Dodgers. And it was a great Sunday win for the Dodgers, highlighted by Andy Pages' 3-run homer, put them ahead in the 6th inning. They were able to hold on and keep the win. Dustin May, a little shaky, but still solid. Quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs. He continues to give the Dodgers length, and today gave him a little bit of quality as well. Tanner Scott shut the door in the 9th, looking really, really, really good. But all this coming after a little bit of a weird start to the game, as Kyle Harrison was supposed to start for the Giants, and then he was traded for Rafael Devers. Rafael Devers is now heading to the Giants, so they might still be a problem the rest of the season. But in this series, the Dodgers won as back-to-back series wins against the 2 teams that are chasing them closest in the NL West. That's great to hear, and we got some good and bad news to talk about on the next Locked On Dodgers. So make sure to check us out wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube.
And that is Vince from Locked On Dodgers. Dodgers take 2 out of 3. They're up 2 games. They're up now 2 games in the division, but the Giants adding a huge bat via a trade. Rafael Devers again homered, and we'll get to the Yankees Red Sox here in just a moment, John. He homered to make it a 2-0 ball game on Sunday, but traded. This one just before Giants Dodgers in Los Angeles. The Giants take this entire contract back. I do think that is terrific for the Red Sox. I don't think Craig Breslow is done by a long shot.
Yeah, and to add the bat of Rafi Devers to this Giants lineup, who, let's be honest, if I'm correct, Wilmer Flores, we'd see more of him at first base. Rafi Devers will continue to DH because they've already got a Gold Glove over at third base and Matt Chapman. They have not gotten any production out of first base. I know that they just added Dominic Smith, and he's been good for them since they added him. But, man, to add Devers to your lineup, move Flores over to first base, continue to have Matt Chapman over at third, I'm happy to see Vince be man enough to admit that Giants might still be a problem, and especially now that they've added Devers.
Yeah, they've tried to go and add that big bat in free agency, haven't done it. Buster Posey pulls off the trade with the Red Sox and Craig Breslow. Yes, on ESPN, they talked about 2 former big leaguers getting together on this trade. Again, the big part for me, Kyle Harrison, who was supposed to start against the Dodgers Sunday. Vince just mentioned that. Sean Jelly actually in a really a pinch role there. Really, actually, I thought handled himself well. Harrison, Jordan Hicks, 2 pitchers, 2 big league pitchers. Harrison apparently going to be optioned to AAA for the Red Sox, outfield prospect, and another lefty bat prospect for the Red Sox. Jay Tibbs going back in the deal, along with a minor league pitcher, Jose Bello. But the Giants do take the entire contract back in this one. Now we move on to the Red Sox and the Yankees. 2-0 victory for the Red Sox on Sunday. Winners of 5 in a row now. With the win on Sunday, they complete the series sweep against the Yankees. They've won 5 of 6 against the Yankees so far this season, and they're a game over 500. But you move on from a big bat. I think there's a lot going on there that we're going to find out at least some of it, where Craig Breslow, Alex Cora, you're only going to DH. You're handcuffing us to a little bit. Let's get out of this as soon as we can. Before we get into this side from the Red Sox side, we've got Brian locked on Yankees, and he's got his perspective not only in the Yankees losing all 3 in the series at Fenway, but a big Yankee killer, Rafael Devers, going to the West Coast.
Yankees have their worst weekend of the season, getting swept by the Boston Red Sox, a team that seems to have their number at this point because they can't seem to win a game against a team that's mediocre in the Boston Red Sox. But as soon as the game ends, and as soon as the Yankees captain Aaron Judge takes fault for the Yankees' sweep in Boston, the Red Sox gift the Yankees like no other gift could possibly be given. They trade away their superstar, Rafael Devers, to the San Francisco Giants for a bucket of baseballs. Make it make sense. I really can't, but we're going to do our best to have it make sense on Locked On Yankees all week. Me and Stacey Gotsoulias will be with you the entire week explaining what the Yankee division rival possibly could have done in trading away their best player. Catch us there.
Yeah, again, this, malcontent, whatever you want to call Rafael Devers in the future, go right ahead. The instant reaction to the trade is negative for the Red Sox. But again, all the money remaining on his contract that runs through 2033, Craig Breslow is going to make moves here. I don't agree with Brian. I think the Red Sox, by no means do I think the Red Sox are a mediocre team now, a game over 500. Do they catch the Yankees in the division? Probably not. But they certainly should be in the mix come August, September for a wild card spot. And again, I don't think Craig Breslow is done, but yes, there's 2 things here. Aaron Judge, next time he faces the Red Sox, if you play FanDuel, one of our sponsors on Locked On, go with Aaron Judge going huge. And also, Red Sox are in San Francisco as they're about to embark on a 9-game road trip next weekend. Take Rafi Devers and over on 2 home runs and 6 RBIs in that series.
There you go. And suddenly the AL West is competitive again with the Rays climbing the standings, the Blue Jays climbing the standings all of a sudden, and the Reds want a piece of that too, or the Red Sox want a piece of that too. So, and the regime change, they always keep saying this isn't Breslow's idea to have Devers and sign him that long. And it really felt like this is what it was going to come to. And who knew it was going to be the Giants, but you just felt like something was going to give, Steve.
Again, 11 clubs around Major League Baseball on Sunday had opportunities for a series sweep. Red Sox completed a series sweep and again traded Rafael Devers to the San Francisco Giants. The Rays, a sweep in Queens, taking all 3 from the Mets. We're going to get the Mets perspective on this one from a Locked On Mets host, Chris.
New York Mets, for the first time this season, have been swept at the hands of the Tampa Bay Rays, and now a lot of questions surround this team. They are going to have to show us what they are made of. Injuries starting to hit this club. Kodai Senga going down last week. Pitching has been a huge strength for this team for a majority of the year. You saw it over the last couple of days. The cracks may be starting to form in the back half of this rotation. They continue to struggle to hit with runners in scoring position. Not sure it would have mattered losing 9-0, but 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position, left 12 men on base today. The Mets are supposed to be a World Series contender. They're supposed to be an NL East contender. They're going to have to dust themselves off and show us that fight. It is road series against the Braves and the Phillies this week. And if the Mets want us to take them seriously, if they want to show us that resiliency that has been their calling card for a large part of this season, this is the week for them to show us it.
Chris from Locked On Mets, they entered the series having won 6 in a row, and everything was great. Now, all of a sudden, you drop 3 straight to the Rays, who still trying to figure out. I think a lot of us are in that boat, but again, Shane Baz gives them a strong performance. Caminero hits a home run, and the Mets side, Griffin Canning took the loss, 6 earned runs allowed. He and McGill get roughed up both Saturday and Sunday in the 2nd and 3rd games of this series.
Did you say Griffin Canning got roughed up, Steve? I was told that, he was fixed and everything was great, but as an Angel fan, and JD and I have been going back and forth about this during our shows, I am all too familiar with the roller coaster ride that is Griffin Canning. So pardon me if I partake in the schadenfreude over here.
So I think the Rays and the Blue Jays actually have to give the Red Sox a thank you note during the upcoming week, especially
Right.
the Rays, because we'll get into Toronto and getting swept in Philadelphia by the Phillies this weekend. But the Rays, like the Red Sox, pick up 3 games this weekend in the AL East with the Yankees still leading the charge.
Yeah, and again, it's becoming a competitive division. When all things started, it was like, what's going on in the AL East? And we knew the Yankees would be good. We thought the Red Sox, with all the moves they made over the offseason, were going to be right there competing with them. But all of a sudden, it's becoming such a very close race. And I think as we get into the dog days of summer, we're going to see the Red Sox start to climb those standings as well.
So again, the Mets swept at home at Citi Field by the Tampa Bay Rays. Good news for Philly fans. You pick up not 1, not 2, but 3 games on the Metsies in the NL East. And while the details of the Phillies finishing off their sweep of the Blue Jays, that's next. It's MLB Game Night.
Today's show is brought to you by our friends at OpenPhone. If you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had a service emergency like a burst pipe. If the first plumber didn't answer, did you wait? No, you called the next one. That's why having a reliable business line is so important, and that's why you need OpenPhone. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system that helps you streamline and scale customer communication, all from an app on your phone or computer. If you've ever juggled 2 phones just to keep business and personal calls separate, OpenPhone can solve that instantly. Your whole team can share one number and respond to customers like a shared inbox. No more, who's handling this? Who's got this? You got this one? I got this one. I'll take the next one. And the AI agent handles after-hours calls, answers common questions, and captures leads so you never miss a customer ever again. And right now, OpenPhone is offering our friends at Locked On MLB, all of our listeners, all of our viewers, 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/lockedonmlb. That's openphone.com/lockedonmlb. And if you have existing numbers with another service, guess what? OpenPhone will port them over for you at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers.
Back at it, MLB Game Night, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Steve Lenox, John Frisch with you as we wrap up Father's Day Sunday. Phillies take advantage, win all 3 against the Blue Jays, and 11 runs, 18 hits, 11-4 victory in the finale on Sunday. They take all 3, and again, picking up 3 games in the division on the Mets, as one's hot, one's cold. 2.5 game lead for the Mets now in the NL East. They've got a rough stretch coming up against NL East opponents. What did you take away from this one before we hear from Mark?
Yeah, just the fact that the Phillies do what the Phillies do best. That's, getting 11 runs, 18 hits, 11-4 win. And then you have Zach Wheeler, who apparently wants to retire pretty soon, which good for him. 7-2 on the with the win, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, just a classic Wheeler start with 9 Ks. So when the Phillies put it all together, they're just one of the best teams in baseball. I mean, they're constantly one of the best teams in baseball, but to me, the way they wrapped up this series was just classic Phillies, in my opinion.
Mark from Locked On Phillies has more details on the Phillies able to complete the series sweep over the Jays on Sunday.
Not a bad Father's Day weekend for the Fighting Phils as they complete the sweep of the Toronto Blue Jays thanks to their 11-4 win on Sunday afternoon. Nick Castellanos providing the biggest of the Phillies' 18 hits. Casty hitting a grand slam home run in the 6th inning to break it wide open. Zach Wheeler went out and dealt over 6 innings, allowing just 1 earned run in the game and struck out 9. And how about the rookie Otto Kemp coming up with 4 hits? And yes, 4 hits, wildly impressive, but also how he got those hits equally as impressive. Plate coverage and speed. Beat out a ball for an infield single and then was able to go very low in the zone with the barrel of the bat and poke that ball out into the outfield for 2 of his 4 hits. Phillies will now head to Miami to take on the Marlins for a 4-game series. And then after that, they'll play host to the New York Mets for a 3-game set in South Philly.
That's going to be a good one next weekend. Thanks to Mark from Locked On Phillies with that update. This was an interesting one for me because on Sunday, It was the rubber game of the 3-game set between the Reds and Tigers in Detroit. Reds come away with the victory. 11 runs scored in the opener for the winner on Friday. 11 runs scored for the winner, the Tigers on Saturday, or the Reds, pardon me, on Saturday. And then the Reds come away with the victory. So, John, we know who's going to be happy. That's Jeff Carr, Locked On Reds.
This is not a drill. The Cincinnati Reds have a comeback win, a late game comeback win, and they just won their first series in like 40 series where they lost game 1. That was an amazing comeback from the Reds on Sunday, and it's all because of Elly De La Cruz and the lineup that is back. What's up? This is Jeff Carr from the Locked On Reds podcast, and we're seeing consistency. We're seeing good at bats. We're seeing hard hit balls. We're seeing extra base hits. It's all coming together for this lineup that has been so maligned this season. Boy, what are they going to score 11 runs in one game, then they're going to not score a bunch of runs the next couple of games? No, they're back, and they made a beautiful comeback against the best pitcher in the bullpen for the Detroit Tigers in Will Vest, and they got the series win. Elly De La Cruz now 4 straight games with a home run. I'm excited about what's going on with this lineup. And oh, by the way, another nice game for Wade Miley on the mound. And they're 2 games above 500 coming back home. How about them Redlegs?
Reds 2 games over 500. Jeff mentioned right there, Wade Miley picking up the victory. Gavin Lux RBI single in the 8th inning to put the Reds in front 5-4, and they get 2 more runs in the 9th inning. On the Tigers side, not really that pretty of a game as they dropped 2 of 3 at home. 3 errors. They did turn 3 double plays, but just 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. A lot of offense in this series.
Yeah, and Jeff mentioned, getting to the best reliever in Will Vest, but he left the game in the 8th with an injury, and that's a shame for the Tigers because he's been incredible since the beginning of the season. And so, yeah, when you play sloppy baseball and you have a team like the Reds who can take advantage of that, you're going to get played. And so good on the Reds, who really needed a feel-good series, and to do that against probably the best team in baseball right now in the Tigers, I think is a very good feeling if you're a Reds fan.
Feel-good weekend, feel-good series for the Mariners as they complete the series sweep against the Guardians, winning the finale 6-0 with a shutout on Sunday. Emerson Hancock was outstanding, 3rd win on the season. We get the other side of this one. Justin, Locked On Guardians, sharing why his team is frustrating him right now, and it doesn't seem like that frustration is going to perhaps subside anytime soon.
As a baseball fan, I typically don't like off days during the season. I know the players need them. But I like looking forward to watching baseball every single night. That's the beauty of baseball. When there's 2 off days in a span of 4 days, that's even harder. The Guardians are challenging that feeling very much for me right now. It's Justin Latta from Locked On Guardians. The Guardians shutout on Sunday. A grand slam in the 2nd inning off J.P. Crawford's bat, who crushed them all weekend. 1 bad inning for Luis Ortiz, and that was it. The Guardians never were in this game. Never felt like they were going to come back. I know Stephen Vogt told the team after a couple of innings that, hey, there's a lot of baseball left. 1 inning at a time, we're going to get back in this. They were never close. They did not have a good approach against Emerson Hancock, who has not been having a good year. They worked 1 walk. He threw 85 pitches in 7 innings. A poor approach against Emerson Hancock. The Guardians are going to have to regroup again on Monday and figure out what's going on. They're 500 again. They're only a game out of a wild card, but this doesn't feel like a team that really should be thinking about playoff aspirations because they just have not found a consistent direction at this point. So even if they are in the wild card hunt, it's doesn't really a team that is not inspiring playoff aspirations. We'll talk more about the Guardians off day, what comes next, and what the next month holds for the Guardians before the trade deadline and the All-Star break gets here. Tune in to Locked On Guardians. We'll be here for you every day. We show up, even if the Guardians offense doesn't.
Guardians just 6 wins in their last 18. On the other side, I mentioned Emerson Hancock, John, picking up the win. They're going to get Logan Gilbert back. It looks like he's going to be activated from the IL on Monday and start against the Red Sox in the series opener in Seattle Monday night.
Steve, as an Angels fan, I am a generational Mariners hater, but as a baseball fan, I can admit Logan Gilbert is one of my favorite pitchers to watch, even though he's on a rival team. Now that they have him back, in addition to guys like Brian Wu and George Kirby seems to be turning it around again. The Mariners suddenly got offense this season, and that we thought that would be the big problem for them. So now that they're getting another good pitcher back, Mariners are one to watch out for.
One more game for this final segment. Braves unable to finish off a series sweep at home. They got shellacked by the Rockies, John, on Sunday.
Yeah, it was 6 runs in the 7th that did them in. And so they got 3 more in the 8th as well. And they avoid the sweep by the Braves, winning this one 10-1. Braxton Fulford, a household name, right? 2 hits and 5 RBIs. He had a sacrifice fly and an RBI in the 3rd, a bases loaded walk in the 7th, and a 3-run triple in the 8th. Now, the Braves had Grant Holmes go for them. He took the loss. He's 3-6 on the season, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, and 15 strikeouts. And yet the Rockies were able to get it done. Good grief. So, look, it's not fun for Colorado this season, but it is kind of, I don't know, as a baseball fan, it's kind of a feel-good story when they actually get a win. So they moved to 14-57 on the season, while the Braves are now 31-39, and you just wonder when the Braves are going to put it all together.
Yeah, it looked like they had it going in the right direction with Strider and Acuna coming back, but well below 500 right now. And they've got the Mets coming up, and we get into that part of the schedule now where teams are playing within their own divisions as well. John's Halos were looking to avoid being swept in Charm City by the Orioles on Sunday. You can see John's reaction right there. It didn't happen. We've got details. Orioles home against the Angels, series finale Sunday. That's next. It's MLB Game Night. And we are presented by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades. Supply House, whether you're into plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product information to help you get the job done and get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 plus top brands, you are going to find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? SupplyHouse.com offers expert support and industry-leading services. So you're always going to talk to a real person. And for the trade pros looking for an extra edge there, Free Trade Master Program does offer exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage, and now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master Program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering your plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Again, use promo code SH5 for 5% off on your first order. That's supplyhouse.com, supplyhouse.com.
Steve, I have all the respect in the world for manager Ron Washington, his contributions to the game, the impact he's had on players throughout his coaching career. But please tell me why you're sitting your number 1 prospect on day 3 of his MLB career in favor of Kevin Newman. I know that Christian Moore has gone 0-for-6. I think he's got a walk or 2 in there. But then you're sitting him in game 3 of this series against the Orioles, who move to 10 games under 500 as they complete the sweep of the Angels on Sunday. Super frustrating, as the Angels just came off a sweep at home of the A's. And so they hit this road trip. They add Christian Moore. They bring up Sam Bachman for the bullpen, who has had a long journey back to the majors after some injury issues in 2024. And the Angels can't get it done. They lose this one 11-2. The Orioles broke it open in the 7th inning on a grand slam from Gary Sanchez. Nothing seems to be going right for the Angels in this tough series against the Orioles. And it's frustrating because they tell us time and time again that they want to compete. They want the playoffs. They want to be competitive. But again, you bring up Christian Moore just to sit him on day 3. Doesn't make sense to me. And the Orioles, all of a sudden, are 11-4 over their last 15. So we talk about the AL East. Don't count out the Orioles. I know they're 10 games under 500, but you might blink and you miss it. The Orioles could be back in that AL East race as well. So all of a sudden, that entire division is turning things around and getting more competitive, unfortunately at the expense of my Halos on Sunday.
And you touch on that with the AL East opponents. Now it's off to New York and the Bronx for 4-game series, starting to open up the week for the Halos as well.
It's going to be a tough one. And, sometimes the Angels like to play up to their competition and give teams like the Yankees a run for their money. But the thing is, the Yankees came to town in Anaheim a few weeks ago, and the Angels got swept there too. So we'll see how this one goes. Perhaps it'll be a different story by the end of it.
A great weekend for the Miami Marlins in our nation's capital. They finish off the series sweep against the Nationals on Sunday, win the finale 3-1. Ryan, Locked On Nationals, not really pleased with what the Nationals are doing right now as they've lost 8 in a row, and he's thinking there might be some changes on the horizon.
The Washington Nationals just lost their 8th straight game. Just got swept by the Miami Marlins, the worst team in the NL East. And a day after Davey Martinez calls out the team, things need to change now. I'm Ryan Clary from Locked On Nationals, and today the Nationals offense yet again does not come up in a Mackenzie Gore start. Mackenzie Gore didn't even have his A stuff today, yet still looked really good. Went nearly 95 pitches in today's matchup against Miami. You're going to be against Yuri Perez. He's a good starting pitcher, but making his second start of this season, he's 22 years old. You have to jump on this young guy. But the Nationals did not. They went 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. And everybody, this is one of the worst moments as a Nationals fan. No joke. Things need to change. I don't know what that change is, but it's very evident that this ain't working.
Ryan from Locked On Nationals right there. Again, they've lost 8 straight games. Marlins take all 3 in this series, and you waste Mackenzie Gore. He's been solid. That's, I believe, 6 straight outings where he's given up 2 earned runs or less.
Yeah, Steve, I'm never a fan when a manager puts the onus on the players. I mean, take a look at what your coaching staff.
Problem.
Really? I mean, look,
I had no problem with what, because they're young. That's not a locker room of a whole bunch of old players who are going to roll their eyes at it. These guys need to be on notice to a certain degree.
Well, and you have to understand that, when you're young and an impressionable guy, a player that wants to, be a sponge and soak up information, that's my opinion on young players like that. And so if they're trying to do what you're coaching them to do, maybe you got to look in the mirror sometimes. That's my opinion on it.
Nationals again, 8 straight losses, season high 11 games under 500. Rangers complete the series sweep. They do it against the White Sox in Arlington. 2-1 the final in the series finale on Sunday. 16 runs total between these two teams over the 3 games. Kumar Rocker gave up 4 singles, 5 scoreless innings, 6 strikeouts. Rangers have won 4 in a row, 7 of 8. And by taking all 3, they're back to 500. We've got a lot of teams hovering right around that 500 mark because it's the peaks and valleys of the season right now for so many.
Yeah, and it's only going to get tougher as we get into those dog days of summer. But, props to the Rangers needing to win these games against the White Sox. And look, the White Sox, we can pick on them for having the worst record of all time last year, but they've got some diamonds in the rough over there in Chicago. So the fact that the Rangers did what they're supposed to do, projected to do, and beat a team like the White Sox, that just to get back to 500 for the Rangers, I think is a good starting point. And as we enter these dog days of summer, I think this is a good place for them to be.
Astros walked off against the Twins on Saturday. They were looking for a series sweep on Sunday. Another exciting finish. And Brett from Locked On Astros gives us the details.
Did you see that? Mauricio Dubon walks it off for a second day in a row. The Houston Astros sweep the Twins. Hello, I'm H-Town Wellhouse here with Locked On Astros, and oh my gosh, did I just see another walk-off? I really thought it was going to be Cam. That's okay. Mauricio Dubon with a lineup that everybody was questioning. Are we giving up? Do we not like sweeps? Why didn't we pinch hit for Guillermo earlier in the game? Well, they got it done. Brandon Walter started this stuff, and then the Twins bullpen let it go. A sweep at Dyken Park. Loved it. We'll see y'all on the show. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. Happy Father's Day to my main man, Eric. Y'all have a good one. Go Stros.
Astros have gone 16-6 over their last 22. Right now, 4.5 up on the Mariners, 5.5 up on the Rangers in the AL West.
I thought they were done. I thought that the dynasty was over. And yet again, here we are, just like last year and the year before and the year before that. They get off to a slow start. And here we are in June. The Astros sitting at the top of the AL West. It's like clockwork, Steve. You can set your watch by it.
4-game series between the Cardinals and Brewers wrapping up in Milwaukee on Sunday afternoon. On Father's Day, guess who was at the ballpark? Yeah, Chuck from Locked On Brewers.
Boy, the Brewers really like playing these like hockey-like games, low-scoring games, 2-0, 3-1, 3-2. Living on the edge again today, but they got it done. Everybody, Chuck Freeman, instant reaction, Locked On Brewers. Man, Trevor McGill, 2 guys reach to start the top of the 9th inning, ends up striking the final 3 batters out to end the game. Yeah, not a lot of offense, Yelich homered, but not lost in the shuffle. Another great start by Quinn Priester. Goes 6 innings, allows 4 hits. And, man, was amazing again today, man. That's great, I'll tell you what. Threw it out to be good. I know the Brewers gave a lot for him, gave up 3 players for him, but man, he was terrific out here today. All right, we'll talk about all this coming up. They take 3 of 4 from the Cardinals. We'll see you a little bit later on tonight on the next edition of Locked On Brewers. Hit the subscribe button. We'll talk to you later on tonight.
And the Cardinals, as Chuck said, losing 3 of 4 in Milwaukee. They've now lost 7 of their last 8. Miles Michaelis, 4-4 with the loss, gave up 2 earned runs over 6 innings. A little rapid fire, John, to wrap up over our final minute or two. Take Pirates Cubs as another 4-game series that wrapped up on Sunday.
Yeah, Pirates and the Cubs. The Cubs take the finale 3-2 in 10 innings. All 4 games, 1-run games. The Cubs take 3 of 4. Thank you to Ian Happ for Cubs fans for the game-winning hit in the 10th, set up by a double steal. Both teams scored 2 runs in the first. It was the 20th comeback win of the season for the Cubs. Steve, can I give us some breaking news really fast? Thank you to Jack Attack for shouting out the fact that we just got word from Jeff Passan. Ohtani will start tomorrow night. I can confirm that. Alden Gonzalez also tweeted he will start against the Padres tomorrow night. Ohtani is back, Steve.
He's going to be on the hill. Great job by you, and thank you for that information as well from the 2 that you referenced there. Yeah, Jack Attack. Wow, they need it. They need him. I don't know that they're rushing him back. I'm sure he's not going to go 7, but you work him back in there. I really think he should be the closer of the team, but that's for another day. But great information right there. And again, there's need in that rotation right now.
Absolutely. All right, so let's keep it going with the rapid fire. The Athletics pull off the sweep of the Royals. They win the finale 3-2. Nick Kurtz broke a 2-2 tie with a solo home run in the top of the 9th off of my old friend Carlos Estevez, former Angels closer. Nick Kurtz, again, a young player coming up, making his debut this season, getting it done for the Athletics. Athletics really needed this sweep, and so they're 29-44 on the season. Meanwhile, the Royals sit 34-38, not having the season that they thought they would in the AL Central.
Padres and Phoenix avoid the series sweep at the hands of the Diamondbacks, win the finale 8-2. Fernando Tatis have a day, 4 base hits, 2 doubles, 3 runs scored. Elias Diaz, Jay Cronenworth both hitting home runs in the game as well. Nick Pivetta now 7-2, went 7, struck out 9, gave up just 2 earned runs. And the Padres back to 8 games over 500. That would have been a great sweep for the Diamondbacks, but unable to pull it off on Sunday.
Yeah, it stayed competitive, though, against the top of the NL West. So it's just going to get more competitive with Ohtani on the mound. Look, I know I'm a lover scorned. He left my team, went to, the crosstown rival, quote unquote. But guys, can't wait to watch Ohtani pitch. Hopefully it's not like his return to the mound in 2020 and more like he was in 21 and 22 and 2023.
That is a wrap for our latest edition of MLB Game Night, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, available wherever you get your podcast. MLB Game Night, every game, every night.